Rahm Emanuel tells Wall Street Journal Democrats must move to center to win. Party brand is toxic and weak and woke. Well, he's not wrong. He's absolutely true on on those statements, but the issue is they won't though. They're continuing to double down, triple down, like I said numerous times, on this toxic stuff, on this woke stuff, on this DEI stuff that is turning people off. They still are the party that's against heterosexual men. Everyone knows it. And but the thing is, they want to put together $20 million. They want to spend $20 million. I'm talking about the Democrat Party. They're spending $20 million to figure out how they lost men. When it's obvious, when you call men toxic, when you call masculinity toxic and things like that, you tend to turn people off. And again, they're not changing on any of that. You see a lot of the progressives in the party been started talking a lot of smack pertaining to Rahm Emanuel and stuff like that, which goes to show me his message might actually be working. So we're going to talk a little bit about it, but before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button, share this out so we can get this information out there. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and hit that alarm bell so you know when I'm putting out new stuff. Also, check out my link tree in the description. It has a link to my Patreon. That's where I talk about things that I can't talk about here. There's also a link to my Instagram and my X account, so follow me there as well. All right, so let's get into this news. Now, this comes from Mediaite, and they report Rahm Emanuel, who is reportedly considering running for president in 2028, told the Wall Street Journal that Democrats need to move to the center if they want to win again, blasting the party's current brand as toxic and weak and woke. The 65-year-old longtime Democratic operative has worn a lot of hats: congressman, presidential advisor, White House chief of staff, mayor of Chicago, and U.S. ambassador to Japan. And a new interview with the Journal's John McCorrick, published Monday, digs into what his next steps might be. But let me say, people of Chicago is no friend of Rahm. They do not like Rahm Emanuel. So I don't, what he did in Chicago, he destroyed Chicago. Even though Chicago got progressively worse, they went from Rahm Emanuel to Mayor Lightfoot to now Mayor Johnson, all terrible mayors. But I digress. McCormick noted that Emanuel, quote, appears to be laying the groundwork for a presidential bid, but was also thinking about running for Illinois governor. That depends on what current Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker decides to do next: run for a third term or throw his own hat in the presidential primary ring. Regardless of which direction Emanuel heads, he was frank with McCormick with his criticism of his own party, saying that Democrats needed to pivot back to the center and away from the identity politics favored by the progressive wing. But again, it's not happening. You see, you hear, you listen to what party leaders, AOC is saying, what Jasmine Crockett is saying. The progressives have taken over the party, and they are not letting go of this stuff that cost them the election in the first place. But in Emanuel's view, Democrats have put too much focus on cultural war issues, wrote McCormick, which opened the door for President Donald Trump to use those issues to clobber them. Emanuel called the Democrats' brand after their 2024 losses toxic and weak and woke, and failing to find a message that reaches voters. Quote, if you want the country to give you the keys to the car someday, somebody got to be articulating an agenda that's fighting for America, not just fighting Trump, said Emanuel. The American dream has become unaffordable, it's inaccessible, and that has to be unacceptable to us. McCormick's interview included a comment from Emanuel tying in cultural war issues as something that shouldn't overshadow education. He said, on education, Emanuel said the Democratic Party has to push for higher standards because giving young people what they need to succeed is at the heart of boosting the middle class. He said, quote, I'm empathetic and sympathetic to a child trying to figure out their pronoun, but it doesn't trump the fact that the rest of the class doesn't know what a pronoun is, he said. Here they go. Here they go. They're still talking about pronouns. Still, Emanuel faces significant headwinds if he wants to end up behind the Oval Office desk. His party, quote, has changed dramatically since he was last in Congress or the White House, wrote McCormick, and is representative of the ongoing party split. Some progressives, despite him, while some moderates love him. I said despite, I meant despise him. The other issue is, you know, how Rahm Emanuel is Jewish, and you know how progressives feel about Jewish people. On that note, we all see what's going on. You know, I'm no big fan of Israel myself, but I don't hate Jewish people like the progressive seems to do to be doing. They have a disdain for any type of Jewish person, which is just crazy. You can't blame a whole part of society for a small percentage of the people. Like I don't blame the Israeli people. I blame the Israeli government for what's going on. But a report by Politico in March about Emanuel looking at running for president drew sharply divided reactions. Oh, that's all. They don't give any of the reactions. That sucks. I'm sorry, y'all. I thought it might be some reactions from what people are saying, but for me, just like doing a cursory look at let me see here what it says here. Empathetic, sympathetic. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, there's no reactions here, but from just reactions that I seen going around the internet, a lot of people don't like Rahm Emanuel, especially progressives. They can't stand him. So I don't foresee him winning any type of nomination. But y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Leave y'all comments down below. Like, share, and subscribe, and check out jjthepsychotherapist.com for the latest in news. Until next time, peace.